Unmute my camera. We should be working now. Yeah. There we go. All right. Hey, Trimmer. Welcome, brother. How are you doing, man? Any new music to look forward to? You got anything on the burner? I got some interesting stuff in today that I get to assess and fix. Hey, Preston. Hey, buddy. How are you doing today? That was a really fun stream last night. I was kind of in and out a little bit. I had my neighbor Robin was out, and we were visiting a bit together. But, really fun to be able to pass that. I'm gonna clean my camera here, make sure it's not dusty. Sorry about that. Really fun to be able to hand that stream off and send everybody your way. No new stuff, Trimmer. That's cool. Me either. Welcome to my world. I just haven't been very creative lately. I just feel like if I'm not doing stuff that I'm feeling good about, I probably need to not do stuff. Kind of feel bad because just for myself because I haven't been super creative. I don't know what the deal is. It'll happen. Yeah. Are you? Oh no, leg cramps. I get those once in a great while. Usually a nice tall glass of water makes them subside a little bit. Not very often though. I know diabetics tend to have problems with cramps in their fingers and such if their glucose is high, but that's my battle. So don't have that problem too often. That was really fun. I will tell you though, after my stream last night, my ring finger right here, boy, I drove that one, beat that to death yesterday. It's a little sore from playing. But I think I sat there and played guitar solos for about a half an hour straight or so. So I guess I deserve it. Yep, getting old, buddy. That's funny. Yeah, it happens. Well, so I have on my bench. I'll go ahead and get started on this thing. Y'all may have met Leah Emerson the other day, and let me point this camera down here, and I'll show you the instrument that we're going to be working on today. You are feasting your eyes on a guitar that is approximately 100 years old. So it's very cool for me to have the opportunity to work on instruments that are of this age. In my love of vintage instruments, they don't get much more vintage than this. And of course, this is it's a Lakeside. It's a lake. I called it a lake view in the title, and I made a mistake. I wonder if I can edit that. Let me see if I can edit Lakeside. Yeah, I can. Delete Lakeside. Save. There we go. Okay, so now I got the title correct. So I'm going to get started on this right away. I've taken some parts off of it, and I'll just kind of point out a couple things that I've done so far. Repaired a crack. Right here, there was a crack, and it's almost as if the end block in this guitar, rather than having the grain go this direction, it's going this direction, or the same direction as the side panels on this, and this is real wood. This is not plywood, and the end block on this thing cracked. So getting glue into there was it was a trick. I glued this yesterday morning-ish and let it sit overnight. I did wet the glue down and used air to push the glue into the crack, as far in there as I could get it. I am not going to take this guitar apart, which would have been probably a better fix, but I believe I may have done more damage than good. So we did that, and then right here on this machine head, you'll notice that that one screw is slightly different than these others. These have flat tops on them, whereas this one's kind of rounded. That's one thing, one reason I don't throw anything away, because I was able to pull this screw off of a set of machine heads that I had of the similar era and repair this machine head so that it works just fine. The screw had fallen out of this, so obviously we got that fixed. And then on the opposite side, I'm not sure, but I believe these might be the original ones, but usually they'd be crumbling. So obviously the hardware has been changed on this at some point during its life. I don't believe this is an original one, but it is. It could be, can't say. Given what I'm seeing, I don't know, but that could have been put on there in 1950 something, who knows. But they all work great, so let's get busy putting the hardware back on here. And we've got these original old flathead screws here, or standard, whatever you want to call them. I call them flatheads. Yeah, pretty cool old instrument, you guys. It's really an honor for me to get to repair stuff like this. Now, a little history on this instrument is that the young lady that owns this instrument, she's a teacher. She teaches piano, and I'm not sure if she's a school teacher or not, but this was used by one of her members of her family who entertained back when this guitar was new. So it was basically a gigging instrument. So this thing has had a long, glorious life entertaining folks, and we intend to continue to allow her to entertain or use it. This is not the original saddle. I don't believe. It may be, and we can take a look here at where it sits, and you can see the original marks on that. So the original one was a lot wider. Somebody may have sanded this one down. It's just a painted piece of wood, so I don't know if this is the original one. The other couple of steps I've taken is to polish the frets and treat the fingerboard, which I put up a video of that yesterday or whatever. And again, I want to thank you all for hanging with me. This is, at this point, ready for new strings. I'm going to be using some Sevillas. Don't let the price tag scare you. They are ball end strings for a nylon string guitar. We'll toss those bad boys. And 036, got to make sure we got the string. Hey, this only has only five strings. Wait a minute. Did I leave? I left one in there. I thought that was interesting. I didn't get them all out of here. Fooled me. Here we go. There we are. So, let's go ahead and get going. See how this thing handles putting strings on her. And we all know one of the favorite things about stringing up nylon string guitars is the darn open headstock machine heads, if you will. Take a while to wind them on there. One of my least favorite things about them. And it's kind of cool how this tailpiece works. And generally, when I string up a nylon string guitar, I will often use the entire string and wind it around this. But this being a short scale guitar or a parlor style guitar, I am going to cut a little bit of this string off of there. Usually what I'll do is go from the machine head to either the end of the headstock or about an inch beyond the end of the headstock. So we're going to give it, I don't mind having a little bit extra on the windings on these. I never tie them in a knot, and here is my method for putting strings on this. And I just poke the I'm going to try and get you here where you can see what I'm doing here if you don't string up a nylon string guitar very often. Hopefully you can see that okay. So as you can see, I've got it going through there just about, oh, ½ inch or so. I pull it taut, and on this low E string I'm going to go on the back side of that winding and pull it up, and using the friction. Now these are metal or brass what do you call these, stems on these. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten that down on that. Keep everything nice and organized and snug. On these wound strings on a nylon string guitar, I may actually have to go the other way. I'm not 100% certain. Yeah, I am gonna have to go the other way. So sometimes we don't know this stuff until we get going on how things are going to align on this. So I'm going to unwind this and go the opposite direction. So I'll wind this string toward the inside. So again, I want to keep that tension good and taut. And we'll go, oh, hang on here. Yeah. We'll go on this side. Here we go. And what this will do is it'll allow the string tension to hold the string on the machine head nice and solid without a bunch of mess going on. As you can see, it's got a pretty steep angle from the nut over to the windings, and I want to have enough on there that the thing will hold tension and the friction will do its job. So we'll just wind her up, and yes, some of the other strings will cross over the top of this one. It's the way it goes on some of these. Not a fan of these types of open headstocks, but when this guitar was built, it may have been the only way they could do it. And so we're just going to string this bad boy up at this point. So if you get bored, let's see, Rody, what's up? Hello. It's great to see you yesterday. Another kind of exciting day at the workbench. Again, I'd like to reiterate, this guitar is about 100 years old. We can only guesstimate the actual age of this guitar. And again, I'm going to go out here past the end of the headstock and trim off just a bit. I don't want to have all that extra winding on here. So here we go. Just poke it down through here, and we will go again on the inside of this. And then when it comes around, we'll go to the other side of this and allow these strings to wind tension around this and allow the friction of the windings on the strings to do their job. Here we go. This is a Lakeside brand guitar. And I believe this one was built in 1920 or the very early 20s. That's the era that this guitar comes from. And don't be afraid to put a few windings on there on this one. Very, very low gear ratio on this. So each turn of the, let's see where we at with tuning here. Well, I was right on.
I had a vehicle to drop off for stereo work.
I'm sorry?
I had a car to drop off for stereo work.
Oh, okay.
There just wasn't anybody out there.
Oh, there wasn't. I'm sorry about that.
I had him.
Let's see.
I'm good. I'm gonna take care of this stuff. You can go back to what you're doing.
Okay. You're in good hands there.
Thank you, Marshall.
All right, bro.
Here's the G2.
Yep.
Woohoo.
The deck in there as well.
Right.
What else do
Yeah.
you for?
Well, I just
So.
don't want stereo working right now.
Just do the stereo.
But eventually I want to do probably after I get to
What is going on here?
Yeah.
40. Alright. That is not the right. What is going on here? It's almost like I got the wrong set, the set of strings that I pulled off of the shelf. Is this my wound 30? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Forget on these, sometimes the strings are, the unwound strings are bigger than the diameter is bigger than the, I need to talk to my camera guy. He's kind of failing today. And on the on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and take off again just a little bit down here. It's gonna cut off just a bit, and then we'll wind this bad boy on here. Okay. I know this is just super duper exciting, isn't it? Stringing up a nylon string guitar. There we go. And I'm keeping pretty tight tension on the string as it goes on there, just to keep everything nice and tidy, and to get enough wraps on there and keep all those windings really tight so that it can't slip once the guitar is in tune. And those of you who own nylon string guitars and play them at any kind of regular basis know that you got to stretch these things for quite a while to get them to hold tune really well. So we'll be doing that here shortly. And again, I'd talk with my camera guy, but he's being a slacker. He's being a slacker. And I'm gonna take a little bit off of the end of this string, just a bit. So I've got plenty of windings on here to go around. I'll get this to stay put. It's almost as if these are wound the opposite. Hey, Stu,
Yes, sir.
are these supposed to be turning that direction?
Yeah, they're backwards.
They are. It's still.
Yeah, that's why they changed them. Eventually, they changed that style because they just cut them on a standard gear cutter, so they ended up being backwards.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't.
No, I usually
so
wind
you
them.
have to go the opposite
Yeah,
direction on this
you
one.
gotta turn them
Okay.
backwards. That's why they changed that.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and wind this the opposite direction. Isn't that fun? That would bug the hell out of me. But again, it's a 100-year-old guitar, so I'm not gonna complain too much. And go ahead and pull a little bit more. I've got my camera wire right in the way. I guess still need to talk to my cameraman. Dude drinks too much, I think. There we go. I'm gonna move my camera over here. Sorry about the dizzy stuff going on here. So we're winding them the opposite direction that they would normally go to tune a normal guitar. The machine heads really work pretty well, but they're just very, very slow. Slow, ultra slow motion. Probably, I don't even know. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 to 1 ratio. Yeah, takes a while. And with these, I don't mind if the strings overlap or get crossed up. The strings are not going to cut one another in this case. And we got a nice now hearing a rattle. Let's see where we're at on tuning on this bad boy. Alright, there's that one. Now we've got a and guess what? You just saw me do it. Where is hey Zach, what's up, buddy? Yeah, oh yeah, thanks, Rody. So I just made a mistake and got these strings on incorrectly. I needed to put this 40 on there first. So I'm gonna go ahead and unravel this one and put it on the correct, put it in the correct slot on here. I do not walk on water. Somehow I got the strings mixed up here. It was just because that one got stuck in the package. That's what was the problem with that. Once I do this, I'm going to cut a little bit more off of it, about the distance that goes between these two machine heads. Winders, whatever. Tuning buttons. It's seldom that I would make a mistake like that. Very seldom. Unless I'm stringing up a left-handed guitar. Alright, I'm going to snip off just a bit more, about the distance. And we'll put this string in the right position. Again, we're going to have to spin her backwards. I'm going to take a little bit more off of that just so I don't get bound up. Here we go. Isn't this fun? So now we've got to spin it the wrong direction, and on this one, I'll give it a little bit extra. We'll go towards the center with this one. Isn't this fun? Restringing a 100-year-old guitar, that's pretty cool. I'm hoping to be able to play this thing before too much longer here, and hear what she can do. I don't play a nylon string guitar very often. I don't personally own one. Worked on many of them. First guitar I ever played, though, the first chord I ever played on a guitar was a nylon string guitar. Give it a little stretch here. There we go. Now, let's get this string on correctly. Here we go. Take a little bit off of this one again. Okay. Here we go. And we'll start winding this backwards. There we go. I don't use a power tool for doing these, making this go faster. I really never have, for no good reason. I've definitely used my fair share of power tools in my life, building houses and plumbing houses and doing all that kind of work. Go. And we got a 28. This little guy right here. I'll trim off a little bit of this, and then we'll get to business. Get to the fun, really fun stuff. Ah, hey Charlie, what's happening? Oh. Charlie, that's a true fact. I probably am first guy put the string in the wrong direction in 100 years. I'm gonna go ahead and this is centered. I'm gonna go ahead and go towards the middle. Boop. I always say every time I try and walk on water, my knees get wet. At least my ankles. It would be cool to walk on water, wouldn't it? Okay. Speed things up here a little. Get this bad boy, bad girl, whatever you want to call her, strung up and sounding like a good old-fashioned guitar again. That looks really nice and tidy. I love it. We're almost there. Almost. There it goes. Now, this isn't, obviously this guitar has been owned and played by Leah throughout its life. She said that it's typically set in her her living room or her space for where she does her music, and she can just pick it up and play it off the wall. You know, and she doesn't play a ton of guitar, but she's a fluid guitar player, and she does instruct people on how to play. So I respect that very deeply. So now that we've got it strung up and everything's looking really good, I'm kind of looking at the alignment of the strings down the fingerboard on the saddle. And I've placed the saddle right back where it was. Let's get to stretching strings and tuning this thing up and see how she responds. I'm going to use my fingers for this because typically nylon string guitars, I do not have the long fingernails. They're played using fingers. This saddle leaves a lot to be desired. Wow, these aren't stretching much. Oh, that's interesting. pretty much back in business. Hey, Justin, what's happening, brother? So, did I lose all my guitar picks? Did I make it to work without guitar picks? I sure did. They're all sitting on my desk at home. I'm pretty sure that I can find one around here. Yeah. I left all of my guitar picks. I do not have. Oh no! What? Whoop. I spoke too soon. Here we go. Got to play it a bit. Alright, let's check the intonation. So we're very sharp, is what the tuner is telling me. That's pretty close. So, I'm going to offset this bridge a little bit. Won't that look funny? So when you're intonating a guitar with a saddle such as this, you kind of have to split the difference. Nothing's perfect on these things. And, you know, I'm not sure if she's too... One thing with these types of guitars, and hopefully the stream's going all right. Our internet might be going a little bit slow today. Let me say hello to everybody. One thing about stringing up and getting a nylon string instrument to stay in tune, you've got to play them for quite a while and stretch them a bit. Really take some time to get all of the stretch out of the nylon. and the strings. Conspiracy, hello. How are you? Oh yeah. Let's see. So we got Zach, Preston, Rhodey, Conspiracy, Tremor. Y'all still hanging. Again, thanks for hanging with me. Not terribly exciting today, aside from the fact that it's a very old instrument. Who has a 100-year-old guitar, right? I'd love to have one, I think. There's Hugh. Hello, Hugh. Thank you. Yeah. Really beautiful old instrument, and you know, a couple other details will let you get a full view of this thing. I have gone over the entire body of this with linseed oil to help preserve the finish that's on it, and to preserve the wear and tear that's on it without doing anything destructive to it. The linseed oil can be removed if somebody chooses to do that. I also did some polishing on this tailpiece here to get some of the rust knocked off of it on both the top and the back side of that. And again, we glued this crack that's going, again, I believe the tail block, or the end block in this guitar is actually put with the grain going this direction. So I can't say for certain. There we go. All right. So it's wanting to stay put right there. I'm okay with that. The intonation's nice. So here you go. Good look at a beautiful old guitar. The fingerboard, we've polished the frets and treated the fingerboard with linseed oil. And let me get my snark off of here. These things are ugly. Don't leave them on your guitar. Oh, and the other thing is, check out this neck. It's got a definite deep V, like a lot of the early Fender guitars had a V-neck on them. This one definitely has a deep V in it. Feels really nice to play. Yeah. Yep. That's a good call, Rhodey. Hopefully this is working. I don't know if it's cutting out or not. Yeah. Well, I think I'm about done with this bad boy at this point. I'm going to go ahead and hang it up and let it hang and settle into all the having the new string tension put on it. The string action on this instrument is really very nice. Not a lot of work going into playing this thing. I mean, it's remarkably great string action for a nylon string guitar. The first fret action is, boy, it's low. It is really low. It almost appears that I'm going to have to take a little bit of material off of that A string. I'm really not terribly interested in removing any material. I'm going to check with the owner before I make any other moves. I don't want to sand anything off of that. Sounds pretty good. dents a little, just a little. Take a look down this this fingerboard here real quick, and boy, the neck relief just looks perfect on this. I'm not going to measure it. It doesn't have a truss rod. It does me no good to check the neck relief. I'm not going to go that deep into working on this one with regard to that. And here is the tag on the inside of that, or the carving in that center block. So that's what it looks like. It's a Lakeside, if you can read that. Hopefully you can see that. Too gent to gent. Nice one, Hugh. All right, so there's that instrument, and this thing's pretty much done and ready to go home. Again, I'm going to let it hang, and I'll check it again a little later on during the day today. Now, I want to show you all something that I came in this morning. So, check this thing out. Nothing too spectacular, right? It's a standard PV bass with active 18-volt pickups in it. But look at the string action. Can you see that? You throw a horse through there. That's crazy. Super high string action. Now the other thing that this instrument has going on with it is that whoever owned it put these shallower locking strap locks on it, and I can't get them off. The ends have been busted off of them. Yeah, the strings on this instrument are brand new, by the way. The owner, the same kid that owns that Les Paul that I was working on the other day, owns this bass at this point, I believe. And I have no idea how I'm going to get these off of here. There's a part of the pull device is available right here. It's threaded. I can pry up on it, but I can't get the locking mechanism will not let loose. I can't pull it up high enough to get it off of this instrument. So yeah, you watched me do it. It will not come off of here. So I'm not going to cut the whole strap button off. I'm going to try and cut through this with my Dremel so that I can get that whole thing to come off of there. It will not come off. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Stu for some help, but the problem is this one, same situation, only nothing to grab onto. So the challenges never cease to amaze me, what people are able to do with their instruments and, you know, mess them up. It's kind of funny. Yeah, it's tragic. So I'll probably end up having to cut these off of here, and that'll be real noisy. So this instrument today, we're going to be doing some cleanup on the electronics and basically a full setup. And I may later on or tomorrow night have video of this instrument being used at the open mic tonight. I worked on a Taylor acoustic yesterday, a Epiphone Les Paul. And then in the recent weeks, I have worked on 2 BC Rich electric guitars. I don't put everything I work on my Welcome to the Benches, of course. I've got a lot of other stuff that I do. Um, and all of those instruments will be on stage tonight at the open mic here in La Grande, and they will be playing heavy metal. We have open mics with a full drum kit. Guys bring their amps, bring their guitars. They get up there and blast the shit out of it. So really, really super cool. It's not a bunch of singer-songwriter acoustic guitar, sleepy time music. It's really super fun. Um, yeah, um, I've you know, if you enjoy playing live, you know, trying to set one of those open mics up would be a really great idea if somebody could host it. It's always an interesting scenario to find musicians who are willing to participate, in particular drummers, to bring their kit down and set it up and basically everything for free and then let everybody play their stuff. That can be a little sensitive, I suppose. But it happens here, and it's really lucky. There's a lot of young people here in our community that are starving for music, and they got basically disconnected from it for a couple of years. So really, really excited that it's up and going again. Yeah, yeah. So we really have a fun time. I usually don't play at the open mics. It doesn't. It, I wish I knew the number of how many live shows I've played in my life, and I'm not too terribly excited about going up and playing. I may. Depends on how I'm feeling, how much liquid courage I've gotten in me by then. Um, yeah. Okay. Oh, dude, if you want to play live, dude, I would take a guitar. You know so many cover tunes. You're gonna run into five guys and just go, "Hey, do you know this song by so and so? Let's play this by Iron Maiden." You'd be shocked. Um, the open mics that I attended in Portland, my hometown, were like that, man. You'd walk in, man, didn't know anybody, ask a couple questions. Hey, is there a bass player here? Go up and talk to him. Hey, do you know this song? Dude, it's amazing what'll happen when you get five guys on stage together who just met and the music starts flowing. Some of the most magical moments in music in my life have been in during those times. Really, really super fun, unrehearsed, the whole 9 yards. You hear some of the best playing in those moments. Really super cool. Um, okay, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and hang up at this point. I'm not going to pass you off to anybody, but that was cool to do that last night. And thanks for everybody that went over and joined in on Preston's live stream. He goes live every Wednesday. I may or may not be doing that, but pay to play. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, you guys, have a really wonderful Thursday, and thank you all for hanging with me. Zach, Justin, Rhodey, Tremor, Preston, Hugh. Let's see, did I get everybody? Uh, yeah, oh, you're welcome, Tremor. Thanks for being here, y'all. I sure do have fun doing this. You guys have a wonderful Thursday. Peace.